What's going on, guys? It's Michael back with Men's Elevation, and today, guys, I'm going to be talking about a few things and a few concepts that may help you to get a better vision for your life and some more clarity on the direction that you want to be heading. So guys, I'm not going to waste any of your time. I'm just going to get right into what I have to talk about. So guys, if you're, graduating high school, going into these college years, there's a lot of pressure from society onto you to have direction, have your shit figured out. And I'm sure that you might be familiar with this pressure because it can be very debilitating. And to have, and I'm sure a lot of people agree with me, but the school system does not necessarily prepare you to understand yourself, understand your values, and understand the direction you want to be heading in. And these are critical. These are absolutely critical things to know. So how do you know it? So guys, if you're feeling lost, aimless, you feel almost like your life could be on autopilot, or you feel detached from the things that you're doing because you might not necessarily care about it. And I know a lot of people, guys, I've talked to a lot of people that are close to graduating. They might be midway through university in this kind of span, and they did something. They took a path just because out of high school you have to do something. So they took something, and 3 years down the road, they realized this was not for me. And then during those 3 years, they felt depersonalized. They felt like they didn't care. They were just going through the motions. Perhaps they picked up bad habits, picked up a tendency to use drugs and stuff just to escape because they weren't clear about what they actually cared about and clear about what they actually wanted. And so it's very tempting to adopt some bad habits and adopt some negative mindsets when you don't care about what you're doing. So guys, it's critical that you understand who you are and understand what you value, so that when you make an aim for something, it resonates with you. You feel purpose. Otherwise, the things that take you off your purpose will become very appealing. And by that I mean things like drugs, pornography, negativity, wasting time on social media, gossip, just things like this that take you away from your purpose. So guys, how can you actually do this? How can you actually clearly define this, guys? So I've been watching a lot of Jordan Peterson, and he has a program called the Self-Authoring Program, and I'm gonna take some of the mindsets of that and share them with you, because this program can be very helpful and it can really change your life if you take this shit seriously, guys. And you have to take action on the things I'm going to be telling you to do, because if you don't, then nothing's going to come from wasting your time watching this video. So let's say you don't know what you're doing. Let's say you're just completely lost. What's the very first step? You have to clearly define a few things. You have to clearly define, one, who are you? Who are you, and what has gone on in your life to lead you to where you are today? Okay, that's one. Who are you? Two, what do you value? What do you care about? What kind of things do you actually perceive to be valuable, and mindsets that you want to adopt into your working life? Because guys, if you have no value system, you have no clearly defined values, then you're not going to be able to know the difference between good and bad, the difference between right and wrong. So guys, define that. What do you value? Do you value helping people emotionally? Do you value helping people physically? What kinds of things do you want to do with your life that you could see being purposeful? And define those things. Who you are and what do you value? Then guys, you have to define the targets. Define what it is you want to aim at. And it's different for everybody, guys. You can find purpose in really anything. It's up to the individual to define who they are and what that they value. So guys, define the target. So guys, in my last video, I talked about an analogy of the lamp of truth. And I use this analogy to define life as a dark room and define the lamp that lights up the dark room as truth and honesty and an honest vision. So I'm going to add on to this analogy in this video, but let's say the truth, you're standing in this dark room of life and you have the truth. Now what? Now you have to have a vision. You have to know where in this dark room you're going. Otherwise, you're just going to go in circles, guys. You're just going to go in circles if you don't know what you're aiming at. You're not going to move forward towards something. So that's the next step. That's the next thing to get your life in order, is to know what you're aiming at. You have the truth, you have the vision, and now you can make steps into the dark room of life. So you want to have a target that you care about. What are you going to university for? What are you going to college for? Do you care about what you're doing? Otherwise, you're going to get depersonalized. You're not going to care about what you're doing if you don't care about it. You're not just going to suddenly love your life if you don't feel any connection with your actions. So guys, if you have that target, let's say you set a target, a 10-year target of the career you want to do. Okay, you have that. Next, let's say you have that vision in the dark room. You're looking. It's far off. You have the truth, but it's still far off. Now, you have to define another target. You have to define the target that's going to get you from here to here. What's that target? Let's say a target you have is you want to lose 50 pounds. Well, how can you lose 1 pound? How can you lose 2 pounds? How can you lose 3 pounds? How can you make those little steps that's going to get you across the room? It's important to define that, guys. You want to make things that are achievable. You don't want to just say, I want to get over there, but I don't even know how to get over here. I don't even know how to move one step forward. Guys, let's use another analogy. Let's say you have 3 books here. You have this big fat book, you have this big fat book, and you have this big fat book. These are the 3 things that you conceivably want to achieve in your life, okay? Boy, this book looks fucking daunting, doesn't it? Holy moly. 1,000 pages, okay? I could look at this book all fucking day if I want to. But am I actually gonna get to the end? No. If I'm just looking at it and I don't know how to start the book, how am I gonna actually read it? Guys, if you want to actually get to the end of 1,000 pages, you gotta read page 1. You gotta read page 2. You gotta read page 3. This is what I'm gonna use as the analogy of your goals. Sure, you might want to lose 50 pounds, but you gotta read page 1, man. You gotta cut down your calories a bit. You gotta start working out a bit. You gotta read page 1, then page 2. You're not just gonna finish the book overnight. And another thing. Let me use these books again to make an analogy about the large vision I have. Guys, let's say you have these 3 books and you can see yourself, let's say each of these represent a career path you can see yourself going down. I recommend you get a few and you define things that you could see yourself doing. A few things. Don't just YOLO into one. But let's think about it. You got 1, 2, 3. 3 careers. Guys, what would be better? Let me ask you. What would be better? Reading 1 full book or looking at and reading 1 chapter out of 3? What's better? This is a problem that you can run into, is that if you're not diligent and sticking with one thing, you're not going to finish anything. Guys, the problem as you go into adulthood is that you can go down so many different directions. And it's very problematic if you don't pick one. You have to pick a goal and stick with it. Because guys, if you're, let's say this dark room again, guys, you're moving towards this direction 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. Oh, over here looks good. Let me go over here. Oh, let me go over here. But then you're never getting anywhere. Guys, it's important to stick with something that you value and do it and stick it out. Pick something. Don't be aimless. Don't walk around and feign this sense of accomplishment because you're doing different things. Like, no, guys, stick with something. Get good. Master something. That's how you'll make something out of your life and feel purpose. It doesn't matter what it is, guys, but do something. Another thing that's going to be important, guys, actually, I think I'm going to end the video here, guys. I'm going to talk about something in the next video, and it's the next step of this, but I think this is a good start. So, guys, I want you to take action on those 3 things. Define who you are, what's led you to where you are, define what you value, and define a goal that you see meaning in, and see the goal and lay out the first foundationary steps that you can conceivably take now. That's something I'm telling you to do now. If you feel aimless, if you feel lost, do that. Write those out. That's something you can start with. Very simple, guys. Very, very simple. Start that out, write those out, and I promise you're going to have more clarity on the paths you're going down in life, rather than being depersonalized and just going through the motions. So, guys, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, comment down below what you thought. I love all the comments, guys. I love seeing what you guys have to say, and I love having discussions down there. As well, subscribe to the channel. I got videos coming, guys. The next video, I'm going to be talking about the next thing you need to define. I'm not going to spoil that. Just stay tuned, and the next thing I'm going to be talking about is going to be just as important as this, because it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be what else you need to define, what you shouldn't be, what you don't want to be, because that's going to be important too. But I'll talk about that in the next video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, guys, stay elevated.